I'd like to use this drawing to illustrate the importance of scale in your GCAD Plus drawings. We're in model space here and zoomed in on part of a design. But what I want to show is the importance of incorporating a scale bar in the drawing, and I'll zoom in on this little area down here, right near the bottom, and I've included this scale bar in model space. So it is a 1 to 10 foot scale bar. The principles that we're dealing with here are the same wherever you're working in the imperial set of units, which we are here, or in the metric world. So let's zoom extents. So here's our complete design, the house and a shed and so on, vegetable garden and so on. If I plot that drawing on an architectural A size sheet, that's very small, 9 by 12 inches, and use a scale of 1/28, 1 over 1/28, which is 1 inch to 1/28, so that's about it'd be close to a 1 to 10 in the metric world. There's the full sheet and the scale bar is in there. The scale is set by highlighting and the viewport and changing this scale value, and I can set it to yes. Now it's a fixed scale, so if we print it we can confidently say, label it down there in the title block, we can say scale 1 inch to 1/28. Another scale that's used in the US is 1 inch to 64. So let's go to it. And there we are. Same view, it's just that the scale factor, the zoom factor if you like, here it's changed from 0.4 to now to 0.21. And we set those easily and conveniently by going to modify set fixed scale in layout, and we then pick the viewport, and if you look down in the command area we can set a scale metric, and if we hit there we'll get 1 to 50, 1 to 100 and so on. But if we're working in the imperial world we can just pick the scale from to someone brought up in the metric system. These scales are somewhat unusual to us. But what I'm trying to illustrate is, let's go to the largest sheet we've got, an architectural E sheet, close to an A0 sheet in the metric world, and the scale's 1 to 32. So we're changing our scale, but we get exactly the same view as we got in all the other instances. So whether we produce a drawing from this E-size layout sheet or from the A sheet, make a PDF file of this, it'll look and feel the same no matter what sheet size, and we can be confident that if we label in the title block here scale 1 inch to 32 on architectural E sheet, there can be no confusion when somebody picks up the drawing. The other reason, or the other way to reduce confusion, is of course by putting some dimensions into the design. If we zoom in here on that part of the design, we have the dimension taken from the model. So there's a series of wooden panels through here, 5 foot 5 inches long. The total length of the wooden screen at the front of the property is 27 feet 2 inches. So we've got a lot of inbuilt checks here. We've got our scale bar, we have the sheet labelled, and we've included some dimensions. So we can turn those on or off. So for a construction team, they'd need to be there. For the client, probably not. So I hope that helps cover a little the effect of sheet size and so on. The other factor that you do need to consider is that if we plotted the architectural A, this very small sheet, or we made a PDF and we set our line weights to 0.01, which is the default, and apply it, and we'll save it as a PDF, we're going to get quite thick lines. Let's have a look. File, save as PDF. A window for speed, we'll just use high. I'm going to pick a point down here so that I get the border, and we'll call it architectural A. And we say yes. So we're going to get quite thick lines. Whereas if we go to the architectural E size sheet, the big sheet, and use the same settings, we'll get much nicer looking lines. So, and there's a very easy way to get a result that you want depending on the sheet that you're intending to plot. All we need to do is just change the default setting. There we are. I hope you can see quite thick lines. So let's close that. We're still in the architectural A sheet. And if we go to Format, and you'll perhaps take my word for it, if we plot from an architectural E sheet, the line thickness will be appropriate. But if we want to use a plot on a small sheet, we just go to line weight, and we probably halve it from 0.01 to say 0.004 and apply it and OK it. And then if we say File and Save as PDF, use the same settings, and I'll come in here and zoom out and back in. And there, and we'll print that architectural A again, and here is the result. Nice fine lines. We've not changed anything in the model except just that default line thickness. So in GCAD Plus you've got absolute control over what you want to give to the client or to the construction team. So I certainly hope that covers what has been for some people some confusion in GCAD Plus.